welcome to CSR's IS. Today in Delhi Current Affairs series of 3rd January, we'll cover some news from PIB and AIR, that is All India Radio News, where we'll cover the news with forward and backward linkages. So these are the topics which are to be covered in today's particular class. So first of all, we'll cover the personalities, because in today's class we'll be having three personalities, that is SavitriBai Phule, Veerapandiya, Kattabomman, and Rani, Velu, Nachiyar. So first personality which is in news because it is the birth anniversary of SavitriBai Phule. Now she was the first female teacher of modern India, and she was determined to change the conditions of women in the country. SavitriBai, along with Jyotirao, and Jyotirao Phule, and opened a school for girls in Pune in 1848. Now we'll know some details about SavitriBai Phule, which will help us in prelims and in answer enrichment of mains. So SavitriBai Phule was a notable figure in the history of India, known for her contributions to the fields of education, social reform, and feminism. Now, she is also credited with establishing the first school for girls in Pune and her efforts to eliminate caste and gender discrimination. So, she was always like for equality, for caste equality, for gender equality, and she has earned her place as a pioneer in the Indian feminist movement. So, at that point of time, when patriarchy was on a very higher level, so she was the one who, in a way, brought that feminist movement. She also fought for child marriage and the practice of sati. Highly regarded as an icon for the Dalit Mang caste, alongside figures such as B.R. Ambedkar. She is also regarded as the first female teacher of India and the mother of Indian feminism. So she was the one who brought this feminism at that point of time when patriarchal society was on a very higher note. Now we'll also cover some facts which will help us in our prelims. So SavitriBai founded the Mahila Seva Mandal in 1852. Now chronology questions can be asked. So you should also know the year of establishment, that is 1852 Mahila Seva Mandal to promote women's rights. SavitriBai convened a women's gathering at which people of all castes were invited and were expected to sit on the same mattress. So she also set an example where she believed in caste equality. She was not into caste discrimination, so she allowed everyone from all castes to come and sit on the same mattress. Now two important works which was published by her, one is Kavya Phule and another is Bhavan Kashi Subodh Ratnakar. Kavya Phule was in 1854 and Bhavan Kashi Subodh Ratnakar was in 1892. Now one poem was there. The poem name was Go Get Education. So in her poem she encourages oppressed communities to get an education in order to break free from oppression. So also she was in form of educating the oppressed communities or the depressed communities, and she all these things she encouraged, and she put it out in her works, and in particular in a poem called Go Get an Education. She campaigned against child marriage while also supporting widow remarriage. In 1873, she performed the first Satyasodhak marriage, a marriage without a dowry, Brahmin priest, or Brahmin ritual. So she was the one. Now the thing is, Satyasodhak, there is something called Satyasodhak Samaj. Okay. Now the Satyasodhak Samaj was established by Jyotirao Phule. Now, when you are covering SavitriBai Phule, you should also know some detailing about the Jyotirao Phule. So this is the self-study for you, which you have to cover from your modern history books or modern history notes. I mentioned some important works like Gulamgiri of Jyotirao Phule, which was about American Civil War, and Sarvajanik Satyadharma. Jyotirao Phule also wrote something called Shetkaryacha Asud. It is also called Cultivator's Whipcord. Cultivator's Whipcord. chord. Like Jyotirao Phule was a very was a agrarian radical, agrarian radical. He raised his voice very radically against peasantry, the problems they were facing. So all the things were mentioned in Setkaryacha Asud. It was in Marathi. It was in Marathi. Fine. Now another work was Tritiya Ratna, and another work was Pavada. Pavada was also in Marathi. It was about life of Shivaji. Now Jyotirao Phule is also credited. It's a very important fact for prelims. Credited with the using of the word Dalit for the depressed classes for first time. So this fact is also very important for prelims. Now we'll try to connect the dots with modern history personalities for prelims and mains with respect to this topic of Jyotirao Phule or SavitriBai Phule. Like both are married to each other. Now, if you see here, they were very supportive to schools and in particular to girls' education. Right now, this is a common fact which we studied right now. Now, this fact was totally or strongly opposed by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. At that point of time, Tilak was also into limelight. Like he was in very popular extremist in 1880s and late 1880s and 1890s, and even in 1900. And Bal Gangadhar Tilak was very conservative in nature. He was very conservative. He did not wanted the women or the girls should come out and work or something like that. Like he was very conservative in nature. He had a conservative outlook. So here what you need to do is you need to cover Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Now the thing is there can be a statement formed in films where they can ask in a question, Bal Gangadhar Tilak also supported the idea of girls education of Jyotirao Phule. So it will be a wrong statement. Okay, so you have to cover the personality of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Okay, now this is the thing they said. They said that they oppose the setting up of schools for girls and non-Brahmins, citing a loss of nationality and believing that following the caste rules would mean a loss of nationality itself. This is what was said by Tilak and his followers. Okay, fine. Now moving on to the next birth anniversary, which was in news, was Veerapandiya Kattabomman. Now he was that personality who did not even bow down to the British. Now we'll come to the points, relevant points for prelims. Now he was the first Palayakarar, that is governor who refused to obey the orders of the British, that is the British East India Company. We'll come to that. Fine. Now we have to connect the dots with prelims modern history. Now here when we talk about Veerapandiya Kattabomman, so one word should come into mind, that is the first Polygar War of 1799. Very simple. Okay. So now the thing is, who was a polygar? He was a polygar. Polygar, or you call it Palaya Karar. So he was the first polygar or the first Palaya Karar who did not even bow down to the British. Now, first of all, who were the polygars? Now this is also a prelims point. They can ask you about the polygars in a prelims question. Now polygars were feudal lords who were appointed as military chiefs and administrative governors from the time of Vijayanagar Empire in parts of South India. So they were feudal lords. Basically they were feudal lords. Feudal lords means in Hindi we say जिसके पास ज़्यादा लैंड होता है या ज़मीन होता है उनको feudal lords बोलते हैं, and all this started from feudalism. Now my question, you can mention, from when did feudalism start? Or if I ask the question, what is the origin, or better to write the first inscriptional evidence of land grants in India. First inscriptional evidence of land grants in India. ठीक है, बता देता हूँ आंसर. द आंसर इज सातवाहना. सातवाहना. सातवाहना एम्पायर ऑफ एंशियंट इंडिया, दैट इज पोस्ट मौर्यन में फर्स्ट टाइम लैंड ग्रांट्स दिया गया था, और वहीं से आहिस्ता आहिस्ता और इवेंचुअली स्लोली feudalism increased, and feudalism increased on a very greater rate in Gupta Empire during the Guptas, खास करके जो 3rd century से 5th century AD की बात हो रही है. Okay, so these are all parts of ancient, so you have to connect. So here feudal lords you get, you have to connect with feudalism. Okay, now if somebody asks you, this is the first inscriptional evidence. If I ask you normal first evidence of land grants in a very smaller way also. Now here it is inscription. Inscription means you get an archaeological thing, sources, but the first literary source was in Mahajanapadas. Mahajanapadas, that is in 6th century BC. So it is the literary sources in a lot of Buddhist texts. In lot of Buddhist text you will get this. So this is the way you have to cover for prelims. Now coming back to the topic, polygars were the feudal lords, okay, or they were appointed as military chiefs, administrative governors from the time of Vijayanagara Empire. They were given the charge of a palayam or a group of villages, hence called Palaya Karar, or its anglicized version polygar, because they collected taxes from the peasants. कुछ groups था जो कि उनके अंडर में था, and they have to collect taxes from the peasants, and in time they almost acted as independent chieftains. So Kattabomman was a polygar from Tamil Nadu. Okay, he was also called Kattabomman Nayak or Panchalan Kurichi Palayam, it's a Tamil word. So his reign started from February to 1790. So he was famous during that point of time, 1790s. So at that point of time, what issue happened is here. The East India Company started wresting control of the region. So when East India Company started taking control, they wanted control because polygars were having already, they were having control because it was there since Vijayanagara Empire before that time. Okay. So they came in conflict with the polygars on the question of who should collect taxes. Taxes collect कौन करेगा? वहीं पे आ गया प्रॉब्लम, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी और ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वर्सेस polygars. Okay. Now the company wanted to control the polygars and secure the rights to collect taxes as well as control the territory. So जाहिर सी बात है, जो दोनों के बीच में ये प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो फाइनली एक वॉर हुआ, दैट इज द फर्स्ट पॉलीगर वॉर ऑफ 1799. Kattabomman refused to bow down to the British and waged a war against them. तो इसी को ही फर्स्ट पॉलीगर वॉर बोलते हैं. And there was another polygar rebellion also. Later polygar rebellion. Okay, so this is enough for prelims. If we go from current affairs to static, so this is enough. Now coming to the third personality of today's series is Rani Velu Nachiyar, because PM Narendra Modi has given tributes to Rani Velu Nachiyar on her birthday. The Prime Minister said she was at the forefront of ensuring justice for the people. She fiercely resisted colonialism and also worked for the welfare of the society. Her bravery will keep motivating generations to come. So she was Rani Velu Nachiyar. So we'll try to cover some information about Rani Velu Nachiyar and we'll connect the information with our modern history, which is relevant for our prelims. Now we'll connect the dots with prelims modern history. So here 2 to 3 things you need to remember for prelims. First of all, first Indian queen to wage war against East India Company, because if you see the timing, it was around 1790s, like during the time of Hyder Ali. So it was before Rani Lakshmibai. Okay. So she was a queen of Sivaganga estate, that is of Ramanathapuram, from 1780 to 1790, widely known as Veerapandiya. It is also a Tamil word, means brave woman. Nachiyar was trained in many methods of combat, including war match, weapons usage, martial arts like Vallari, Silambam. Silambam is a very famous martial arts down south, horse riding or archery. Proudly ruled Sivaganga area for more than 10 years. And one more important part from prelims point is this point. The queen also created a women's only army at that point of time when patriarchy was very high. She created a women's army, that is Udayal. So you have to remember this word Udayal. Okay. In collaboration with Hyder Ali and Gopala Nayakar, she waged a war against the British and emerged victorious. So this was a time when, like, uh, it was very much before of the 1857 revolt of when Rani Lakshmibai was there, and also before 1824, because before Rani Lakshmibai, Queen of Kittur, Chinnamma, she also revolted against East India Company. So before this also, and before this, she was the first to wage a war against East India Company. So that is why it becomes very important for prelims. Okay. Eventually, she wanted to produce the first human bomb as well as establish the first army of a trained women soldiers in 1700s. Before 1800, she was the one. Okay. So she launched a campaign against the British East India Company with alliance from Hyder Ali in 1780. Fine. Okay. So we're done with the history. Now let's move to one more topic, that is economy topic. Okay. So recently RBI has released a publication, a web publication, that is called Statistical Tables relating to banks in India 2021-2022, which covers the activities of the full banking sector. Okay, now every year or every alternative year, one or two questions will come, they'll directly ask. It will be a very direct question, but it becomes difficult to answer. For example, this question, it can be asked in prelims, like which of the following recently released the publication named Statistical Tables relating to banks in India. Now the problem is, if you do not know the answer, it becomes very difficult to solve. Why? Because of the options. See, there is an option called Ministry of Finance, which is related to banking system. Indian Banks Association, it is also like a association of Indian banks operating in India. NPCI, now NPCI also deals with the payment system. The payment system in a way it is also related to banks. So all are related to banks. RBI is also related to banks. So the answer is RBI. So these kind of questions, either you need to take a calculated guesswork or it's better to leave it. Okay. Now for self study for economy, you can cover, like, the topic is banking. So here the topic is banking. You can cover Indian Banks Association and NPCI. Now these are very important topics because they may be asked in paper. Indian Banks Association was around 1946, 6 or 48. You can check it. Okay, and NPCI is in 2006. Now Indian Banks Association is an association of Indian banks. It is kind of a group of all Indian banks operating in India. Operating in India. It can be foreign banks also, but it should operate in India. Foreign banks also included, but it should operate in India. So you can cover some more information about NPCI. You can cover all the products of NPCI, all the products. Okay, like Rupee. There are some a lot of products of NPCI, some 6 to 7 products you can cover. Okay, fine. Now coming to one more topic which will have very connecting topics It will have very connecting topics with environment, this particular news, and science and tech. See, NTPC starts India's first green hydrogen blending operation in PNG network at सूरत. Okay, सूरत में start हुआ है. Okay, now the thing is, India is moving towards hydrogen economy, global hydrogen economy, green hydrogen, because it is a clean fuel. We'll come to that. Now India would not only reduce its hydrocarbon import bill, because India काफ़ी import कर रहा है, तो वो कम हो जाएगा, but significantly can bring down forex assured by a green hydrogen and green chemicals exporter in the world. Fine. तो यहाँ पे ये चीज़ शुरू हो गया, दैट इज़ ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन. सो यहाँ पे कुछ कीवर्ड्स है जो आप हम उसका डिटेलिंग करेंगे यहाँ पे. इफ़ यू सी केयरफुली, पेट्रोलियम एंड नेचुरल गैस बोर्ड, दैट इज PNGRB, द रेगुलेटरी बॉडी, ये रेगुलेट करता है PNG को, पेट्रोलियम एंड नेचुरल गैस को रेगुलेट करता है. इट हैज़ गिवन अप्रूवल ऑफ 5%, you have to remember, 5% volume blending of green hydrogen with PNG to start with, and the blending level would be scaled phase wise to reach 20%. तो लेवल हम 20% तक रीच करेंगे, 5% से शुरुआत होगी. इट विल बी स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 5%. प्रेजेंट इट इज़ 5%. ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन ब्लेंडेड विथ नेचुरल गैस. अब होता क्या है, जब ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन को हम नेचुरल के साथ ब्लेंड करते हैं, मिक्स करते हैं, तो इट विल रिड्यूस द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एमिशंस, कीपिंग द नेट हीटिंग कंटेंट सेम. और ये जो फीट है जो इंडिया ने अभी अचीव किया है और स्टार्ट किया है, इट इज़ ओनली डन इन फ्यू कंट्रीज लाइक UK, Germany and Australia. So India will be the fourth country. India will be the fourth country after UK, Germany, Australia. You have to remember, these are all prelim stuff. And PNGRB के बारे में previous year questions already asked, which I have shared in my next slide. So what happens here is, we'll have to go through each and every detail about this. Okay, we have to go through each and every detail about green hydrogen mission, all these things you have to cover. So we have to connect the dots now. So the topic is NTPC ने green hydrogen blending शुरू किया या फिर start किया है. So we have to connect the dots for prelims environment and also science and tech, both are required here. Okay, so first of all, the project is a joint effort of NTPC. Now in comment box you write NTPC is a which kind of company. Is it a Mini Ratna or a Maharatna? Type in comment box. And Gujarat Gas Limited. अब ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन जब ब्लेंड होता है नेचुरल गैस के साथ, इट रिड्यूसेस CO2 एमिशंस, कीपिंग नेट हीटिंग कंटेंट सेम. ओके, नाउ जैसे कि हमने अभी पढ़ा ये कि द रेगुलेटरी बॉडी दैट इज PNGRB अप्रूवल दिया है 5% ब्लेंडिंग के लिए फ़िलहाल के लिए, और ये फेज वाइज इट विल बी इंक्रीज टू रीच 20%. तो अभी फ़िलहाल 5% का अप्रूवल हुआ है, 20% का नहीं है, बट जो हमारा टारगेट है वो रीच करना है 20%. सो वेरी केयरफुल विद द स्टेटमेंट आस्क्ड इन द प्रीलिम्स. और अप्रूवल कौन देता है? ऑल थिंग्स रिलेटेड टू पेट्रोलियम एंड नेचुरल गैस, देयर इज अ बॉडी कॉल्ड PNGRB. इट इज अ स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी, PNGRB Act of 2006, which we will cover in our next slide. Okay, now these are the keywords and these are the associated topics. You all this have to cover, which we will cover in a very easy way. First of all, green हाइड्रोजन क्या है? अगर ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन क्या है तो गवर्नमेंट का कौन सा ऐसा पॉलिसी है जो कि गवर्नमेंट करती है, दैट इज ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन मिशन और पॉलिसी, वो भी कवर करेंगे. जैसे कि ये भी वर्ड है PNGRB, तो उसको भी हम जानेंगे कि पेट्रोलियम एंड नेचुरल गैस रेगुलेटरी बोर्ड है क्या और कहाँ से आया है. अब हम जब पेट्रोलियम और नेचुरल गैस के बारे में वी आर स्टडिंग, सो वी शुड ऑल्सो नो द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन मैप ऑफ इंडिया, कहाँ कहाँ यह मिलता है, पेट्रोलियम रिजर्व्स एंड नेचुरल गैस रिजर्व, जो कि यहाँ पे साइंस एंड टेक या फिर ज्योग्राफी से हो गया. ये भी एनवायरनमेंट है, ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन काइंड ऑफ ए टेक्नोलॉजी है, तो ये भी साइंस एंड टेक में आ जाएगा. ये गवर्नेंस का पार्ट है, petroleum and natural gas regulatory board. So see how the topic becomes very multidimensional from a single normal current affair. Now यहाँ पे अगर हम ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन के बारे में पढ़ रहे हैं या फिर वी आर स्टडिंग अबाउट ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन, वी शुड ऑल्सो नो अबाउट ब्लू हाइड्रोजन, वी शुड ऑल्सो नो अबाउट ग्रे हाइड्रोजन, pink hydrogen and yellow hydrogen, because these are nothing but these are science and tech topics. It is our future. So there can be a question asked about this: is the future multicolored with respect to green hydrogen or hydrogen? So वहाँ पे भी हम questions के साथ हम we will be having some content so that we can write. Okay, so this can be a GS3 question in mains. Okay, is the usage of hydrogen or green hydrogen मल्टीकलर लाइक व्हाट आर द प्रॉस्पेक्ट्स? तो ये सब इसके लिए आप हमको ये चीज़ जानना फाइन। नेक्स्ट, तो एक एक करके पहले तो ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन क्या है? ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन इज बेस्ड ऑन द जनरेशन, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जनरेशन ऑफ हाइड्रोजन। हाइड्रोजन जनरेट होता है और हाइड्रोजन होता है क्या? इट इज़ अ यूनिवर्सल लाइट एंड हाईली रिएक्टिव फ्यूल। और जो जनरेशन होता है हाइड्रोजन का, इट इज़ जनरेटेड थ्रू ए केमिकल प्रोसेस नोन एज इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस। इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस प्रोसेस से ही ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन होता है, ठीक है। अब होता क्या है? दिस मेथड यूजेस एन इलेक्ट्रिकल करंट टू सेपरेट, क्या सेपरेट है? वाटर में से हाइड्रोजन को सेपरेट करेगा फ्रॉम द ऑक्सीजन, सिंपल, ठीक है। इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस प्रोसेस से, जाहिर सी बात है, इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस प्रोसेस से इलेक्ट्रिक करंट यूज होता है, तो इट विल सेपरेट। If this electricity is obtained from renewable sources, we will therefore produce energy without emitting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Simple. तो जाहिर सी बात है ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन का मतलब ही यही है, बिकॉज यहाँ पे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एमिट होगा नहीं, सो इट विल रिड्यूस और इट विल प्रिवेंट द एमिशन ऑफ CO2. सो दिस प्रोसेस प्रोड्यूसेस ओनली हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन, बस उसको सेपरेट करता है। वी कैन यूज द हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन को हम एटमोस्फेयर पे छोड़ देंगे एंड वेंट द ऑक्सीजन टू द एटमोस्फेयर विथ नो नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट। सो दिस इज ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन इज आवर फ्यूचर। ओके, to achieve electrolysis we need electricity, we need power. So this process to make green hydrogen is powered by renewable energy sources, जैसे wind, solar, because electrolysis के लिए हमको electricity चाहिए and for electricity we need power. Power कहाँ से आता है? Wind से आ सकता है, solar से आ सकता है, and both are renewable, very simple. तो अगर हम renewable sources से electricity मतलब जनरेट कर रहे हैं तो ये अच्छी बात है, राइट, बिकॉज वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, राइट। दिस मेक्स ग्रीन एनर्जी द क्लीनेस्ट ऑप्शन। हाइड्रोजन फ्रॉम रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोर्सेज विदाउट CO2 इज एज ए बाय प्रोडक्ट, सो इट इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग। अब यहाँ पे एक फैक्चुअल डाटा व्हिच यू कैन यूज इन योर GS3 मेंस इफ यू गेट ए क्वेश्चन। सो ऑल दिस पॉइंट्स हैव टू कीप रेडी इन योर नोट्स। इंटरनेशनल एनर्जी एजेंसी पॉइंट आउट करता है, एज द IEA पॉइंट्स आउट, दिस मेथड ऑफ ऑब्टेनिंग ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन वुड सेव द 830 मिलियन टन्स ऑफ CO2 दैट आर एमिटेड एनुअली व्हेन दिस गैस इज प्रोड्यूस्ड यूजिंग फॉसिल फ्यूल्स। हम क्या करते हैं? हम फॉसिल फ्यूल से आजकल नहीं, कब से हम बहुत सालों से, हमेशा से फॉसिल फ्यूल्स यूज़ करते आ रहे हैं। सो अगर हम ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन को ट्रांजिशन, फॉसिल फ्यूल से अगर वी आर ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है, we are doing transition to green hydrogen, so we can write it will save minimum 830 million tons of CO2 that are emitted annually. Fine. Okay, so this is the basic thing of green hydrogen. Now if green hydrogen hai, तो we should also know blue hydrogen, pink, gray and yellow hydrogen. These are all important for prelims, even answer enrichment of mains. Okay, ब्लू हाइड्रोजन क्या होता है? ब्लू हाइड्रोजन होता है व्हेन नेचुरल गैस इज स्प्लिट, व्हेन नेचुरल गैस इज स्प्लिट इनटू हाइड्रोजन एंड CO2, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, ठीक है। इफ यू सी हियर, ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन में वैसा नहीं है। यहाँ पे हम वाटर से हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन को स्प्लिट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ब्लू हाइड्रोजन में हम नेचुरल गैस इज स्प्लिट इनटू हाइड्रोजन and carbon dioxide either by steam methane reforming, एक मेथड है, नो नीड टू गो इन डिटेल, और ऑटोथर्मल रिफॉर्मिंग। बट यहाँ पे क्या होता है, बट जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड यहाँ से हम लाइक वी सेपरेट द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, it is captured and it is stored. We capture that carbon dioxide and we store it. Okay, So as the greenhouse gases are captured, because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gases, right? It is a greenhouse gas. So when it is captured, this mitigates the environmental impact. कम कर देता है it. Mitigates the environmental impact. And the capturing is done through a process. एक process है जिसका नाम है carbon capture, usage and storage. Very important. You can go through this process from the internet. Just have a look. Carbon capture, usage and storage. Blue hydrogen. Okay. अब what is gray hydrogen? Gray hydrogen has been produced for many years. This is what is the reality which has been happening since many years. So this is happening. So we need to we need to transition or do the transition from gray through blue to green. This process will come to that. यहाँ पे क्या होता है, यहाँ पे इट्स a similar process to blue hydrogen. जैसे भी होता है यहाँ पे भी वही होता है, to split natural gas into hydrogen and carbon dioxide. But the problem is the carbon dioxide is not captured and it is released into the atmosphere. So carbon dioxide, that is the greenhouse gas, it is released to the atmosphere, which is not good, which is happening now. Okay, so we need to do the transition from here. ये हमको बंद करना है. Okay, what is pink hydrogen? Now pink hydrogen is similar to green hydrogen. Pink hydrogen is made via electrolysis. So जैसे कि ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन में इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस से होता है, वैसा ही पिंक हाइड्रोजन में भी इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस से होता है. बट यहाँ पे सिंपल एक चीज अब याद करना है, न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी यहाँ पे यूज होता है एज इट सोर्स ऑफ पावर. न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी इज ऑल्सो ए रिन्यूएबल. ओके, ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन में क्या था सोर्स ऑफ पावर? विंड, सोलर एनर्जी, ये भी रिन्यूएबल है. Nuclear energy. So when you write nuclear thing, you can use this pink hydrogen point in your answer. Very simple. Okay, so it is all about answer enrichment to make your answers multidimensional. Now what is yellow hydrogen? Yellow hydrogen is a type of hydrogen made by electrolysis, where electrolysis is achieved by only solar power, through solar power. But it is, you can say it is a part of green, because in green there is solar or wind, but when it comes to only solar it becomes yellow hydrogen. Okay, it becomes yellow hydrogen. Now the question is the future multicolored? Now the future is a transition from gray through blue to green hydrogen. One thing that is clear is the important role hydrogen will play in energy transition. It's very important. Now you can give a case study of UK. Now in UK the country's national energy system is changing rapidly as UK makes plan to reach legal net zero target by 2050. To achieve this target we need to write this dimension of green hydrogen, because it is a cleaner fuel, we have to use it. See, although UK is unlikely to produce sufficient quantities of green hydrogen to meet the targets and the demand, we are likely to see a transition period of 20 to 30 years. We are likely to see where blue hydrogen plays a key role. Blue hydrogen. So there is a great potential in both the blue and green. In blue and green. See, gray is the reality now. So we need to stop that gray and move towards blue and green. And that will be an important role in our energy transition. With our knowledge and capability, we are there to support this transition. So the transition should happen from gray through blue. So gray is now to green. Blue करेंगे फिर वहाँ से green. Because for green, a lot of it, like investment is required, infrastructure is required, lot of things are required, even for blue hydrogen also. So that governments initiatives and all those things are required. Okay, now coming to green hydrogen mission policy. Now green hydrogen mission policy was launched on very recent 2021, okay, 75th Independence Day. The mission aims to aid the government in meeting its climate targets and making India a green hydrogen hub. This will help in meeting the target of production of 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. So this is the target you have to remember. This is the target you have to remember, 5 million tons by 2030. In line with the above announcements, so in line with this announcement, a green hydrogen policy has been framed and notified during 2022. एक policy आया है And this policy, you can go through the policy from the Vikaspedia site. Just to go through the details. There are a lot of details, but 3 to 4 important unique points you can make notes. It may help you in prelims or mains. Now, one prelims point can be India has already committed. So the commitment from India is to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070. And green hydrogen will play a significant part as a disruptive feedstock in India's transition from oil and coal. So if India wants to transition from oil or coal, so India wants net carbon emission by 2070. So green hydrogen will play a very big part. You can also write blue hydrogen also. Blue hydrogen, yellow hydrogen, all these things you can write in your mains answer. So hydrogen as a fuel, hydrogen and ammonia are envisaged to be the future fuels to replace fossil fuels. Production of these fuels by using power from renewable energy termed as green hydrogen and green ammonia is one of the major requirements towards sustainability, environmental sustainability. Fine. Now all these things are required because we have also commitment towards the Paris Agreement of 2015, right? So there is an increased consensus. That is nothing but Paris Agreement. This particular thing, that is to reduce the global warming levels less than 2 degrees Celsius, and if possible to cap it at 150 degrees Celsius higher than the pre-industrial levels. Paris Agreement is under UNFCCC. Now this is also an environmental topic which you can go through. It is a static topic, so you can go through. Fine. Next, another connecting part is Petroleum and Natural Gas Board, PNGRB. Okay. So Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. Okay. Fine. So it is a statutory body under the Act of 2006. Now what it does, it will protect the interest of consumers and all the entities engaged in specific activities relating to petroleum, petroleum products, natural gas, and promote competitive markets. Consumers का interest को protect they will do, या फिर बहुत सारे companies entities रहते हैं जो कि like they do predatory pricing or anything, so वहाँ पे भी they will promote competitive markets. Regulate the refining, processing, storage, transportation, distribution, marketing and sale of petroleum, petroleum products, natural gas. ये सब regulate this body will do. But you have to know, excluding production of crude oil and natural gas so as to ensure uninterrupted and adequate supply of petroleum, petroleum products and natural gas in all parts of the country. Okay, fine. So here we should know it is excluding the production of crude oil and natural gas. Excluding this, the sale of petroleum, petroleum products, their refining, storage, everything will be done by PNGRB in all parts of the country. It consists of a chairperson, a member, legal member, and 3 other members. All are nominated by the central government. Okay, it has power of a civil court and bench comprising member, that is legal, and 1 or more members nominated by chairperson, which decides on disputes arising among downstream companies or with outsiders. Any disputes happen, so this board will have a bench. It will decide everything. It will decide. So obviously when a board decides, so there has to be a appellate mechanism. So what is the appellate authority of this body? Okay, Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. So the appellate tribunal under the Electricity Act of 2003 will serve as the appellate tribunal for this act. So you need to remember this because it is a prelims previous year question. It has been already asked. So there is a appellate tribunal under another act, that is Electricity Act, which you can go through. It is not that much important, but you can go through this act because this is also sometimes in news. Now coming to the some previous year question related to Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. In 2019 question was asked, in 2017 question was asked, even in 2006 question was asked, 2003 question was asked. So every alternative 2 to 3 years gap they are asking about this. So in 2009 the question was Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board is the first regulatory board set up in India. No, it can't be the first. It was set up in 2006. So obviously it can't be the first. You can cancel one. So if you cancel one, the answer happens to be 2 and 3. So one of the tasks is to ensure competitive markets for gas. Yes, we studied now. Now appeals against these decisions go before the appellate tribunals of electricity. Yes, it is correct, because the appellate tribunal, as per the Electricity Act of 2003, it is nothing but the appellate tribunal for electricity. That is the word. So all the appeals of this regulatory board will go to this body. Okay, fine. Another question was in 2017. Consider the following statements about the project launched by Ministry of Union and Natural Gas recently. Project Shaksham, an awareness program for sustainable use of petroleum products launched by Ministry of Petroleum. Yes, it is correct. So this is a, the project Shaksham is important because it is now also it is in current affairs. The program is an initiative of PCR, Petroleum Conservation Research Association, and other oil and gas PSUs under the aegis of the ministry. No, this is wrong, because Project Saksham, yes, it is under PCRA, but it is not. This is wrong. Not under any other gas PSU. Okay, so this is Project Saksham. Fine. Now we'll connect PNGRB with another recent news, and then we'll connect that recent news to its legal aspect. Okay. Now recently the news was December 27, 2020. Very recent. Today is January 3, so it is very recent. PNGRB to halt action against city gas distributors until the act is amendment. Until act's amendment. Okay. Now no need to go in detail ki what was happening. We need to know the static part, the concept. What is the power of PNGRB with respect to city gas distribution? Now, so the topic becomes city gas distribution network. So here, if you see, this is the city gas distribution network. Now, PNGRB grants the authorization to the entities to develop a city gas distribution network, including a PNG network, in a specified geographical area of the country. Now, this power that the PNG will grant authorization, it comes from the PNGRB Act of 2006. So this is in news. So you should know this network. Okay. So this information also you can just go through. It is not required. This particular information is important for prelims. Okay. So this is the news. This is the legal aspect, because the power comes from this 2006 Act. Okay. Now distribution of natural gas. This is the distribution of natural gas in India. Okay. Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Khambat, Basin field. Basin field is here, Maharashtra, North Maharashtra, Basin. Okay. North Maharashtra. Bombay High, Rajasthan's Barmar area, Krishna Godavari Basin here, Tamil Nadu's Kudalur district, Odisha, some parts of Odisha here, Assam, Tripura. Okay. Northeast, in particular Northeast. Now India's economically viable natural gas reserve is 541 billion cubic meters. Billion cubic meters, it is the it is a measurement of natural gas, unit of measurement. Onshore, that is Assam and Gujarat. So 551 is onshore. Okay. Plus 190 offshore. 190 offshore, which is not on the shore, in the Gulf of Cambay, and 190 in the Bombay High. Okay. In Tripura Basin here, this area, a massive reserve of 400 BCM was recently discovered. It was discovered recently. Also, there is a large reserve around Andaman and Nicobar Islands, but the problem is it is large, but around estimated to be around 1700, the highest, but based on remote sensing data, but its economic viability has yet to be determined, which is why no production has yet begun. अभी तक production आया नहीं है. like bigger nahi hua hai because uska economic viability we do not know. So this also you have to cover from prelims. Now this becomes a part of science and tech. Natural gas. It is a non-renewable. It is a mixture of gases, the majority of which is methane. It is discovered underground in the same way the petroleum is. It is combustible. Now the task is the process. The process of extraction of natural gas. Just go through it. 2 to 3 words are enough. Okay, for prelims. Now distribution of petroleum. So these are the distribution of petroleum. So you can go through this. Not that much required. Okay, all these dots, it is widely spread. But you need to know the highest percentage, which state. This is important. It is Mumbai high, 65.28%. No need to remember this. So Mumbai high has the highest. Second is Gujarat. Third is Assam. Okay, so petroleum is a liquid mixture that can be used to make gasoline, diesel fuel and variety of other products. It is found also underground. The process began around 3 million years ago during the tertiary period. Okay, fine. Crude oil or it is also called crude oil or simply oil. Okay, fine. Coming to one IR topic. This is IR topic. India takes over leadership of Asian Pacific Postal Union, APPU. India takes over leadership of Asia Pacific Postal Union. So headquarters is in Bangkok, Thailand. Okay. So we need to know the details of APU. It is an intergovernmental organization of 32 members. Now it is the only restricted union of the Universal Postal Union. Now Universal Postal Union is a specialized agency of United Nations. So from here we need to know about UPU also, related topic. Okay, fine. So Asia Pacific Postal Union, it was formed by a international through a convention. This is the convention, Asian Pacific Postal Convention, signed in Yogyakarta, it is in Indonesia, in 27 March 1981. This treaty was signed, but the origin of this organization goes back to 1961. Now you have to understand it is an intergovernmental organization. It is not an international, because intergovernmental means governments are part of this organization. Headquarters is in Bangkok, Thailand. What is the purpose? To improve the postal relations and promote cooperation in the field of postal services between member countries. 32 member countries. Okay. Even the same work Universal Postal Union also does. Okay, but Universal Postal Union, it is a specialized agency of the UN. Asia Pacific Postal Union is specific to Asia Pacific. It is specific to Asia Pacific. That is the reason why it is the only restricted union in the region which is now UPU is a specialized agency of United Nations. So this much information is enough for APPU, but for UPU, that is Universal Postal Union, you need to know it happened in 1874. It is the second oldest international organization worldwide with 192. Now the question is, mention in comment box which is the first oldest worldwide organization. Mention your answers in comment box. Okay, now some prelims fact booster related to Universal Postal Union. See, any member of the United Nations may become a member of UPU because it is a specialized agency of UN only. So any member can become. Even a non-member country of United Nations. Now this is more important for prelims. A non-member country can also become non-member of United Nations. जो United Nations का member नहीं है. That country also may become UPU member provided that the request, अगर कोई country request करता है, it is approved by at least 2/3 of the member countries of UPU. UPU का 2/3 members अगर उसको pass करके approve करेंगे, then only it will be a member of UPU. Okay. Now Asia Pacific Postal, this is some background. The history, as I said, it dates back to Manila in 1961. So as I told here, the origin dates back to 1961, but treaty, international treaty आ गया 1981 पे. एट दैट मीटिंग, एक मीटिंग हुआ था मनीला पे, उस मीटिंग पे 18 कंट्रीज मेट टू ड्रॉ अप द एशियन ओशियल पोस्टल कन्वेंशन, ओशियनिक पोस्टल कन्वेंशन। ओके, फिर फाइनली होते होते 1981 हो गया, 1981 थ्रू विथ ट्रीटी। सो APEU अभी उसका हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ पे है? उसका हेडक्वार्टर अभी प्रेजेंटली बैंकॉक में है, लेकिन पहले मनीला पे था। फॉर द फर्स्ट 40 ईयर्स ऑफ इस हिस्ट्री मनीला में था वो। ओके, सिंस 2002 APEU मूव टू बैंकॉक। ओके, और एंड डायरेक्टर पोजीशन वाज ओपन टू इलेक्शन बाय मेंबर कंट्रीज। फिर एक डायरेक्टर पोजीशन आया, and the director is chosen at the APPU Congress, which is the highest level, apex level body for this particular intergovernmental body, for a period of 4 years, maximum 2 terms. Okay, so APPU Congress is the highest level organization. एक executive council रहेगा, एक bureau रहेगा. Bureau mostly does with the technical work. On executive council mainly the administrative work, or they will help the apex body, that is Congress. Now let's see the bodies of यूनिवर्सल पोस्टल यूनियन, जो कि 1874 सेकेंड ओल्डेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, एंड इट इज़ अ स्पेशलाइज्ड बॉडी ऑफ UN। इसका बर्न में है, ठीक है, स्विट्जरलैंड बर्न में कैपिटल है, स्पेशलाइज्ड एजेंसी ऑफ UN। यहाँ पे भी एक कांग्रेस है विच इज़ अ सुप्रीम अथॉरिटी, जो कि मीट करता है एवरी 4 ईयर्स। एक पोस्टल ऑपरेशंस काउंसिल है, इट इज़ द टेक्निकल एंड ऑपरेशनल माइंड ऑफ UPU, जो कि 48 मेंबर कंट्रीज़ का है। अब UPU अराउंड 192 मेंबर कंट्रीज़ का है, बट ये काउंसिल ओनली 48 मेंबर कंट्रीज़ का है। इलेक्शन होता है ड्यूरिंग कांग्रेस। काउंसिल ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन नाम से पता चल जाता है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव काम करेंगे। ओके, इंटरनेशनल ब्यूरो, इट विल प्रोवाइड द लॉजिस्टिकल एंड टेक्निकल सपोर्ट टू द UPU बॉडीज। फाइन, okay, one more topic. Now this is a environmental topic, that is species in news. Species in news। अभी जनवरी 3 में PM मोदी कॉम्प्लीमेंट किया टू द पीपल ऑफ असम फॉर द एफर्ट्स टुवर्ड्स राइनो कंजर्वेशन। इवन असम चीफ मिनिस्टर announced on January 1 that no rhinos were poached in the state in 2022. Okay, so it's a very good thing. So यहाँ पे आ जाता है राइनो कंजर्वेशन का एनवायरमेंटल टॉपिक। तो यहाँ पे ऑल थिंग्स रिलेटेड टू राइनोसोरस आई हैव कवर्ड हियर। साइंटिफिक नेम राइनोसोरस यूनिकॉर्निस, इसको हम वन हॉर्न राइनोसोर भी बोलते हैं, जो कि सिर्फ इंडिया में पाया जाता है। ओके, इवन नेपाल में, मतलब बॉर्डरिंग कंट्रीज इंडिया, नेपाल, भूटान, पाकिस्तान, खास करके आसाम पे। ओके, फाउंड ओनली इन द ब्रह्मपुत्र वैली, पार्ट्स ऑफ नॉर्थ बंगाल एंड पार्ट्स ऑफ साउदर्न नेपाल। ये एक सिंगल ब्लैक हॉर्न इनका रहता है, दैट ग्रो अप टू 60 सेंटीमीटर एंड ए टफ ग्रे ब्राउन हाइड विथ स्किन फोल्ड्स विच गिव्स द एनिमल इट्स कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स आर्मर प्लेटेड लुक। वल्नरेबल है, ओके, IUCN लिस्ट इसका वल्नरेबल है। एंड WWF, दैट इज वर्ल्ड वाइल्ड लाइफ फंड, इट इज ऑल्सो अ NGO, इंटरनेशनल NGO, 1997 से आया है। It says the recovery of the greater one-horned rhino is among the greatest conservation success stories in Asia. So यहाँ से जो greater one-horned rhino का जो success story है, बहुत सारे conservation efforts हुए हैं, which will go in detail one by one in the next slide. Because of that, it's a very good success story. So according to WWF, there are around 3,700 Indian dinosaurs in the world today. सबसे ज़्यादा है आसाम का काजीरंगा नेशनल पार्क में। ओके, अकॉर्डिंग टू सेंसस, एक सेंसस हुआ था अभी रिसेंट, राइनो सेंसस, तो ये भी हम कवर करेंगे। और मोर देन 250 ओरंग, पोबितोरा, मानस, ये सब के सब असम पे हैं, ऑल आर इन असम। ओके, सो दीज आर द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। ओके, नाउ इफ यू सी द मैप हियर, काजीरंगा यहाँ पे है, ओरंग यहाँ पे है, मानस यहाँ पे है। So all these three are very required for environment. You have to go in detail about this. And there are other wildlife sanctuaries also. Dibru-Saikhowa National Park is very famous. It's very famous. ठीक है? And ये भी एक छोटा मोटा वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है, इतना फेमस नहीं है लाइका हुआ, लेकिन अरेंज कर लो एंड ऑल दोज रिवर्स फ्लोइंग एवरीथिंग यू नीड टू नो, यू नीड टू कवर in detail for prelims, as far as prelims is concerned, nothing to do with mains here. Okay, fine. Now the conservation efforts, एक इंडिया राइनो विजन हुआ था जो कि 2005 से शुरू हुआ था, 2020 में ख़त्म हो गया है। तो इसमें विजन ये था कि इट विल अटेन ए वाइल्ड पॉपुलेशन ऑफ 3000, एटलीस्ट 3000 राइनोज बाई 2020। पार्टनर्स कौन थे इस प्रोजेक्ट में? आसाम फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट, WWF, और कुछ लोकल डिपार्टमेंट्स भी थे, बट दिस टू नेम्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट। एक राइनो नेशनल राइनो कंजर्वेशन स्ट्रैटेजी था। ये क्या था? इट कॉल्स फॉर एन एक्टिव एंगेजमेंट बिटवीन इंडिया एंड नेपाल, बिकॉज यहाँ पे अगर ध्यान से देखोगे तो नेपाल बॉर्डर भी है इस साइड में, इस साइड में नेपाल है। ओके, सो इंडिया और नेपाल के बीच में एक्टिव एंगेजमेंट है कि दो नेशनल पार्क एक दूसरे कंट्री से दे विल हेल्प ईच अदर और इन कंजर्विंग और ब्रिंगिंग बैक द इंडियन राइनोसरस। शुक्ला फांगता नेपाल में और वाल्मीकि टाइगर रिजर्व बिहार, ये भी बॉर्डर नॉर्थ बिहार में है। चितवन नेशनल पार्क नेपाल पे और दुधवा नेशनल पार्क यूपी में। सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स यू हैव टू कवर हियर। दुधवा नेशनल पार्क इन डिटेल, वाल्मीकि टाइगर रिजर्व बिहार इन डिटेल, कौन से रिवर जाता है, व्हिच माउंटेन रेंजेस पे है, एनी स्पेसिफिक स्पीसीज फाउंड, everything you have to cover. Okay, the thing is there was a time when in UP दुधवा नेशनल पार्क या फिर जो यूपी के जो नेशनल पार्क है वहाँ पे राइनोसरस बहुत मिलते थे, बट बिकॉज ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन एंड ऑल दो स्टफ वहाँ पे राइनोसरस जीरो हो गए हैं। ओके, तो एक डिक्लेरेशन हुआ था, न्यू दिल्ली डिक्लेरेशन एशियन राइनोज। यहाँ पे 5 कंट्रीज जिसको हम राइनो रेंज कंट्रीज बोलते हैं, इंडिया, नेपाल, भूटान, इंडोनेशिया, मलेशिया, दे डिसाइडेड टू रिव्यू द स्टेटस ऑफ राइनोसरस एवरी 4 ईयर्स, इन तीनों का। ओके, और इन तीनों का वन इज ग्रेट वन हॉर्न राइनो, दैट इज इंडिया में पाया जाता है, जिसका आयुषियन स्टेटस अभी वल्नरेबल है, विच इज बेटर देन क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड। जावन राइनो क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड, सुमत्रन राइनो क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड। ओके, अब इसी इवेंट में, ये जो इवेंट हुआ था डिक्लेरेशन में, दिस स्ट्रैटेजी was launched, national rhino conservation strategy was launched. Okay, कुछ और कंजर्वेशन एफर्ट्स, राइनोज टू बी इंट्रोड्यूस इन उत्तराखंड इन कॉर्बेट टाइगर रिजर्व। जैसे कि मैंने बोला यूपी उत्तराखंड में पहले राइनोसरस होते थे, बट टू इन टूडेज टाइम इट इज़ नॉट देयर बिकॉज ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन। ओके, so that is the reason why Indian government is trying to introduce. So this is the news. Corbett टाइगर रिजर्व, कॉर्बेट है, जिम कॉर्बेट इज द ओल्डेस्ट वन, 1936। एक रिवर पास करता है यहाँ पे, दैट इज कॉल्ड रामगंगा रिवर। ओके, रामगंगा रिवर, रिमेंबर, फाइन। नाउ कमिंग टू द राइनो सेंसस। राइनो सेंसस अभी रिसेंटली हुआ था, दिस इज द 14th राइनो सेंसस इन इंडिया इन मे 2022, करंट अफेयर्स में है, लास्ट ईयर हुआ था। तो सेंसस से ये पता चला है कि एक इंक्रीज हुआ है, 200 राइनोज इंक्रीज हुआ है फ्रॉम 2018। ओके, हर 4 साल में होता है, एवरी 4 ईयर्स में होता है राइनो सेंसस। ओके, रिमेंबर 4 ईयर्स। डिस्पाइट 400 डाइंग मेनली ड्यू टू नेचुरल कॉजेज, फिर भी 200 राइनोज का इंक्रीज हुआ है। अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 75% ऑफ द एंटायर पॉपुलेशन ऑफ ग्रेटर 100 राइनोसरस फाउंड इन इंडिया इन दीज 3 स्टेट्स, असम, उत्तर प्रदेश एंड वेस्ट बंगाल। अभी बहुत बड़ा है। एंड नाउ द क्वेश्चन कम्स, हु conducts this rhinoceros? Remember, it is the individual state governments, they periodically conduct the census of rhinoceros at state level, फिर वो डेटा कंपाइल होके आता है as rhino census. It is the state governments, okay, they conduct it. The word is conduct, it is not Ministry of Environment or Climate Change. It may publish it, but I am talking about conduct. So conduct state governments करता है, हर किसी का state government करता है। Now coming to the last day of the last topic of the day, that is GaanNgai फेस्टिवल। ये मणिपुर का फेस्टिवल है जो कि जनवरी 4 को होगा। ओके, सो GaanNgai फेस्टिवल किसका है? एक कम्युनिटी, वेरी फेमस कम्युनिटी, जेलियंगग्रोंग कम्युनिटी, और ये फेस्टिवल कहाँ पे है? मणिपुर में। सो ट्राइब्स प्रीलिम्स क्वेश्चंस आता है, डायरेक्टली आता है, नथिंग टू गो इन डिटेल, दे विल आस्क वेरी डायरेक्ट। तो ये जो जेलियांगरोंग कम्युनिटी है, इट कंप्राइजेज ऑफ रोंगमेई, लियांगमेई and Zimi tribes. ये जो Zimi tribes है, it is very important. Just remember, ये तीन tribe belongs to Manipur. Okay. So that's it for today. So anyone who wants like a personal mentorship, like answer writing, current affairs strategy, how to do the targets, mains answer writing, and also prelims, all subjects, in particular the static subjects, advanced level notes, they can contact in Telegram. They can call in this number, they can contact in Telegram. Okay. Thank you.